person's backyard are going to start looking like a wilderness, because a lot of these folks, they've never taken up a machete, they've never taken up a lawnmower to go ahead and cut down some grass around the back of their yard. Families are still in need of persons to take care of their granny. They're still in need of persons to take care of their kids because they still need to go to work. Hi morning everyone, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Think Nursing channel, where it's all about nursing, travel and lifestyle. So today we're going to talk about a few things that has been going on in the media. And when you talk about immigration, that is something that is big in the media right now. I don't know how many persons have noticed that there has been like a significant decrease in the amount of road repairs or constructions going on, and that is because of the whole immigration crackdown. If you haven't subscribed as yet though, I would love for you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like, share, turn the notification bell on, and remember to subscribe and comment. Yeah, most importantly, comment. So a lot of times I've been walking, or not necessarily walking, but driving, going into work, going into the Dallas area, and I noticed that there has been a lot of road repairs been going on for a couple of months or years. Let's just say there has been always a lot of persons on the road doing repairs, and I noticed that since the whole crackdown there haven't been much road repairs going on. And I'm thinking it's because of the crackdown with illegal immigration. Not saying that all the folks that were on these roads working are undocumented, but majority of them I know definitely are undocumented folks. And why I decided to talk on this topic is that we're going to be seeing, or as a result of the illegal immigration crackdown, we're going to be seeing a lot of things that have been happening, or a lot of changes have been happening or started happening over the past couple of weeks since the Trump administration have started all of their work. And yes, persons might be there like oh yeah, this shouldn't be happening, but at the end of the day this is just their land and this is what they want, so they're doing their thing. But as we are all aware, illegal immigration, without illegal immigration or undocumented immigrants here in the state, a lot of things that we normally would do are gonna come to a standstill. When it comes on to farm work, a lot of persons are not going to be able to get certain produce that they normally get on a regular basis, because they don't have anybody to help with harvesting, picking those crop, or reaping itself. And so you'll find out that there's going to be a lot of importation of goods to meet the needs of the American people here, because if you don't have undocumented persons in the field, I know a lot of persons, especially Americans, they're not going to pick up all of those jobs. And so you find out that the prices for goods and certain services are going to increase because of the importation of certain things into the country in order to meet the needs of the persons here. And a lot of times we might look at it and we start complaining that things are just expensive. It is because of things like these. Sometimes we might do something and we don't realize that there are ripple effects because of what we did, and even though what we did was in the best interest of everybody, because persons are thinking about safety, they're thinking about their livelihood, they're thinking about the fact that they should be following the rules of the land and the policies of the land and the right medium to get into the country. But at the end of the day, ridding the country of all illegal immigrant or undocumented immigrant is going to cause us to have this kind of ripple effect of increase in prices for goods and services. Another thing is that when it comes on to those cuisines that we normally enjoy on a regular basis, there's going to be a little bit of changes to that as well. I know a lot of popular restaurants, they definitely don't hire like illegal immigrant or undocumented, but some people, they still have persons under the books that are undocumented because it's cheaper for them, cheaper service or cheaper labor for them, and so they will tend to go ahead and pay persons to do that job that are not even qualified, and the job is done well. So you're going to find out that a lot of cuisine that we normally enjoy, we might not have a variety, or if we do have a variety, we probably don't have the regular taste that we normally do for those food, because a lot of those persons would have been in hiding or being sent back home because because of their status here. Another thing is when it comes on to language as well, we rely heavily on persons in our environment sometimes to help out with translation, and without having certain persons in our environment, we don't know who who is documented or undocumented at all times. We always have variations in our culture here, and so at times we might find somebody that speaks a certain, like, say for example, Creole, and we definitely want somebody else to translate who understands better. You know, sometimes you can always find one or two persons in our environment to do that for us, and if we don't have anybody to do that because all of those persons who are undocumented are not here anymore, because of that, you know, there's going to be a little bit of a problem or challenge for some persons, especially in the hospital setting, where sometimes we rely heavily on, you know, translators and all. So definitely that is going to be one thing. And as I talk about the hospitals, you know, a lot of times we might find out that American people, they're not going to be doing certain jobs. You know, they're not going to be doing certain jobs, like, you know, when you talk about janitorial services, housekeeping, or farm work, they're not going to be doing those jobs, or even if they do it, they probably don't do it best. You understand? And so while you have some companies, like, you know, when you talk about hospitality industry, they normally rely heavily on persons, especially undocumented immigrants, you know, to help out with, you know, certain things like, you know, bed making, housekeeping services, those kind of job. And so we will realize that a lot of places are going to be losing staffing, or their, you know, the service that they normally offer is going to kind of decrease because they don't have enough persons to help out with making sure that the rooms are clean in a certain time period. And so that is one other industry that definitely is going to be affected by the lack of immigrants or illegal immigrants in the country, or undocumented immigrants in the country here, over time. Another thing is that when it comes on to, you know, those persons, sometimes, you know, we definitely need handyman around the place, and definitely a lot of undocumented immigrants usually help out with some of these jobs. When you talk about wanting somebody to come and cut your yard, you know, want somebody to come and do your house cleaning, you want somebody to come and do, you know, a little plumbing or something, these are the folks that usually are more willing or will show up to get the job done, you know, because they tend to have their little service or something going on in their community, and so they're able to fix and do certain things. Another thing that we definitely gonna see is, you know, when you talk about the housing industry is gonna definitely be affected. A lot of persons, you know, probably they went ahead and they purchased their house or their land, and they're expecting to have their homes being built in a certain time period. With all of the things going on with illegal immigration crackdown or the undocumented immigrants, what is going to happen is that you're going to have a longer time period for persons to be, you know, expecting their homes to be ready. So rather than companies saying that in 6 to 9 months you get your house, no, it's going to be a little bit longer, because I don't know how many persons have noticed that a lot of these houses that have been started, you know, they haven't been finishing, or you don't see anybody on the rooftop or anybody doing any work, because a lot of these folks were persons that are undocumented. And so that industry is definitely going to be affected significantly because of, you know, their reliance on undocumented persons, or, you know, immigrants itself, to do those kind of work. It's a fact that a lot of these undocumented immigrants or illegal immigrants, they are very skilled. They're very skilled. So even though a lot of times they may not speak the language, they may not understand, when you talk about hands-on, these are the folks that you normally rely on, or these are the folks that persons can rely on to get the job done in a certain time period. I remember last year or the year before, temperature was like 106 degrees, and I see a lot of Latinos on rooftops in Texas here getting the work done while I am sitting in my car and AC going off, and I am complaining that I am feeling hot, you understand? And outside was like scorching hot. So just to say that, you know, these folks, they go above and beyond and get the job done in a time period that is required. And I know that even though the job market is open up right now and there are so many jobs available, a lot of persons are not going to take up those kind of jobs, because, you know, they feel as though it's not being paid, they're not going to be paid well, or the job is below, you know, what they're expecting. A lot of these jobs are available now, and no, people are going to be still out of job because they don't want to work certain job. While it is a sad moment for a lot of us, especially the immigrant community, because we might know one or two persons that definitely are in trouble right now. Either a family member who ran off, or a friend, you know, a loved one, whatever the situation is. I know a lot of us are just, you know, concerned about everybody that is being affected. And even if you're not an immigrant, I know a lot of persons, you know, you build a relationship with certain persons, whether or not, you know, it's your housekeeper or somebody that has been taking care of your kids for years. You've built a little bit of a relationship with those persons, and so you feel it as well, you know, because those persons were here doing certain things that you weren't able to do while you're working, and you're still able to save because you're paying a little bit cheaper than what, you know, the average person would have taken for the same job, because these folks are undocumented, and a lot of times they're just waiting, they're just wanting the bare minimum in order to send back home and take care of their family, or, you know, take care of their family that is here. And so I know it's a bittersweet moment for a lot of persons, but one thing I want us to take away from this is that regardless of what is going on, now is the time, because, you know, there's still a gap. There is still a gap that is left by these persons that are being sent home, or these persons that are not able to go out anymore because they're scared that, you know, they will be sent back to their country. And so there is still a gap available for persons now to go ahead and try to see if you can make it, make a business out of it, you know, make use of the opportunity now to start your own business. And a lot of times, you know, you probably would have started and you stopped because, you know, you weren't getting the call. So for example, you started a housekeeping business or a lawn mowing business. You weren't getting the call because you already had persons who were doing these jobs around for a longer time, and they were doing well with certain companies or folks or communities, and so they're the ones that are always getting the job. If you are an entrepreneur, or you're thinking along that line that you wanted to do something, I would say now is the time to go ahead and maximize on the opportunity that is there, because as I say, a lot of companies are going to be in need of persons to do certain jobs. You know, your hospitals are definitely going to be needing persons to come in and assist with janitorial services. And even though these jobs might be something that, you know, we consider to be not a good job, or we look down on them because they're not paying well and they're below, you know, let's just say below the regular kind of job that we normally look towards, I would just say go ahead and see if it is something that you're still able to do. Because a lot of us, you know, we might not have a certification, we might not have a skill, but we know how to make a bed, we know how to clean, we can push a little lawnmower, whatever it is that we're able to do. Try to see if you can actually maximize on the opportunity right now that you have, given that you are, you know, well documented here in the US, or you're legal, your status is legal here in the US. So go ahead and see if you can make a business out of this. You know, get out of your comfort zone and see if you can go out and work and try to generate some money and try to build on your wealth moving forward, given what's happening in the economy. And, you know, even though it might sound harsh, you know, because you're thinking about, oh, this is happening. Yeah, but the reality is that, you know, persons are still in need of assistance. Families are still in need of persons to take care of their granny. They're still in need of persons to take care of their kids because they still need to go to work. Persons' backyard are going to start looking like a wilderness, because a lot of these folks, they've never taken up a machete. They've never taken up a lawnmower to go ahead and cut down some grass around the back of their yard. You know, so now is the time that if you understand and you know how to do certain things, you know how to work certain equipment, now is the time to go out and maximize and build on something that you can, you know, improve on as you go along. If you're able to do the job at 40%, no, by the time you're supposed to get 10 jobs, it's supposed to be up to like 60%, and you improve as you go along, and you learn the business and you learn the trade, and you're making your money and you become an independent, you know, contractor. So I don't know if I'm saying the wrong thing, or if you think this is a good idea, go ahead and put it in the comment box below. But as usual, don't cuss me. This is just my opinion, and I'm just thinking that, you know, seeing that we already have a gap, we need to fill those gaps. And the other thing I never made mention of is that even though these jobs are below, you know, the rates that they normally pay undocumented immigrants, it is below the average, you know, because a lot of times, you know, sometimes undocumented immigrants, they go ahead and accept certain money because that's just what they can do. They can't really complain and say they want more money or whatever. A lot of times, you know, they just go ahead and accept and work and make use of the little money that they get. So know that you are legal. Don't expect that these companies that were paying illegal immigrants $10 per hour to paying you $10 per hour. Go out there and tell them that you need $15 or $20. You understand? Go ahead and bargain now because you're legal. It's not like they're paying undocumented persons at a cheaper rate. They're paying regular people in society now, persons who are legal status and they can't really use anything to say that, you know, they're going to call ICE on you. They're going to call ICE on you, or they're going to call immigration on you because, you know, you're not legal in the country, and then force you, they kind of coerce you into accepting a certain amount of money. No, that is not anything anymore. That was of the past. And so of the present, no, your status is legal. You are well documented. So go ahead and bargain and talk about, you know, what you want in your compensation package from these companies, especially the bigger companies them. You understand? Especially the bigger companies, because these companies, they have like, you know, multiple companies. They're making money. So if they're making money, you need to make money as well. So go ahead and try to see if you can bargain and see if you can get a better rate than what they were paying undocumented immigrants to do the same work, you know. So that's all I have to say. But until then, thank you so much for tuning in, and remember, subscribe, like, share, turn the notification bell on, and most importantly, become a part of the Think Nursing family, where it's all about nursing, travel, and lifestyle. Until then, I will see you in the next video. Bye.